Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. We are in Gyaneshwari, Bhavartha Deepika, chapter 18, verse 70, OV number 1523. And here, the Lord is giving assurance. And what is the assurance? That anyone who shares the Bhagavad Gita, teaches Bhagavad Gita, lives Bhagavad Gita, he gives him a place in his heart. Meaning, what is in your heart? Consciousness. So, he gives you his heart. He gives you the consciousness that he is. And whatever consciousness he is, and we are crystallized consciousness, he is uncrystallized consciousness. He is the infinite one. And when he appears in your heart by giving you a place in your heart, you vanish. The individuality goes. And that's the assurance that Bhagavan is giving us. And now continuing in the 70th verse, Adhyeshyate chaya imam, Adhyeshyate chaya imam, Dharmya sambadamavayoho, Dharmya sambadamavayoho, Jnana yajnena tenaham, Jnana yajnena tenaham, Ishtasyamiti me matihi, Ishtasyamiti me matihi. Together, Adhyeshyate chaya imam, Dharmya sambadamavayoho, Jnana yajnena tenaham, Ishtasyamiti me matihi. He says in the 70th verse, Gyaneshwar Maharaj, and whoever will study this sacred conversation between us, by him shall I be worshipped through knowledge, sacrifice. This is my view. Whoever will study this sacred conversation between us. So, see, what are the scriptures when we say we follow the scriptural diktat? What are they? They are the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutras, and Bhagavad Gita. So we must engage with Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. Chant a few verses, read 1 or 2 verses every day. If you read it early in the morning, first thing you do, then it just keeps percolating your mind throughout the day. So Bhagavan is saying that by him shall I be worshipped through knowledge sacrifice. This is knowledge sacrifice which is going on. Sacrifice means what?
Giving.
What is sacrifice? Giving yourself completely, letting go. So what am I sacrificing? See, when you do a fire sacrifice, what do you do in fire sacrifice? Do you douse the fire or you make the fire brighter and make it glow? For that, what do? You put the ghee, the oil, you put the ingredients, you put the wood, and the fire keeps crackling and growing and without any smoke. So same way, what is that? What are those ingredients that we are putting in this sacrifice? This is knowledge sacrifice. We are putting our words. We are applying our minds. To what? What is the fire? What is the fire that we are invoking? Knowledge is sacrifice. So what is the fire that we are invoking? The fire of consciousness, the light of consciousness. Let it glow bright and huge. But for that you have to think. You have to put those ingredients which will allow it to devour and grow brighter. And that is the knowledge. That is your convictions. That is your disposition. That is your sincerity. That is your faith. That is your respect and reverence. That is your, in spite of doubts, continuing to study and keeping the doubts aside and doing what is required to be done. See? This is. At a lower level, what will be, suppose in karma yoga, you are invoking the fire. In bhakti yoga, what are you doing? What is the fire you are invoking? You are invoking the Lord. How you are invoking the Lord? By remaining single pointed. At that time, when you are chanting the name of the Lord, so many distractions will come. So many pulls, entanglements. When you decide you want to do it, that time everything, either from outside, from inside also. But you keep at it. After some time, it all becomes a breeze. It becomes naturally you are able to chant the name. Same way here also. Naturally, you are interested in listening to Bhagavad Gita. There is no effort here. Nobody had to push you. Nobody had to force you. Nobody had to blackmail you. Nobody had to. You don't need convincing. That's why you are here, all of you listening, isn't it? This is the interest. This is, now the fire will increase. Because you are available without any doubts. Or even if there are doubts about what is that, why am I there or not there, is it happening or not happening, I can't see any symptoms, blah blah blah. No, but you are continuing to interact with the knowledge. Every now and then some doubts come. Sometime today, so the cook who comes, he says he's listening to Swamiji for many years. So he says, Swamiji, but what is karma? How do you plan? I said, you plan, but my desires for the world don't go. I said, if your desires for the world don't go, why they don't go? You tell me. How come they go away when you go to sleep? Why you make them a problem when you are thinking of Lord? While sleeping, you don't make them a problem. That time you don't complain. My thoughts don't go, my desires don't go, my body pains don't go. They all go away from your mind and you have a wonderful sleep. Why do you make it a problem when you are thinking of God? You know why?
Because we are not single pointed.
Nah.
Fear.
Fear of what?
Fear of losing your individuality.
You know after sleeping you are going to get up. But after merging to the Lord, will I wake up? This experience is not there. What will happen? That experience, there is no data. The only data is you see mad fellows walking around whom we call saints. And I will be like that. They don't care about family. They don't care about food. They don't care about money. They don't care about how they look. They don't care where they defecate, some of them. Am I going to? No, I'm a cultured person. The fear of the unknown makes these doubts come up to our mind and sabotage our journey. Sabotage our being who we actually are. And yet we are thinking of the sleep. We don't know what sleep is, yet we are surrendering every day. So this is This is a big one. If you can resolve this in your mind, this will only come by dedication, love, respect, reverence, continuous interaction with Bhagavad Gita. Why do we take Bhagavad Gita? Why am I talking about it for so many years? Why other teachers are talking about it for so many years? And it's not necessarily that you have to teach. Knowledge sacrifices, you listen and you reassess and come to be the original one. And in that reassessment, which is called reflection, if you want to do that, that will only happen because you did not listen properly. If you listen properly, second step is not required. But okay, second step is there. Reflect. But reflect means use the logic according to the scriptures. Now Gyaneshwari Maharaj says, Pai mazhiya tujhiya milani vadhinali zehe kahani moksha dharma kazini ala se zethe toha sakalartha prabodhu amha doghansa samvadu न करिता पदभेदू पाठेची जो पढे तेणे ज्ञानानळी प्रदीप्ती मूळ अविद्येची आहुती तोषविला होय सुमती सुमती परमात्मा मी घेऊनी गीतार्थ उगाणा ज्ञानी ये जे विचक्षणा ठाकती ते गाणा वाणा गीतेचा तोला आहे गीता पाठकासी असे फळ अर्थज्ञाची सरिसे गीता माऊलीसी नसे जाणे तान्हे. Gyaneshwari Maharaj says here that this dialogue which has taken place between yourself and myself, who is yourself? Arjun. Myself, Lord is saying, myself has descended on this earth to win liberation. Where is this dialogue going on? What are the various scenarios where this dialogue is going on? One is between the Lord and the Arjun. Where else it is going on? It is going on between Sanjay, the charioteer, and the blind king. There also it is going on. Where else it is going on?
Between Vyas Maharishi and
Because Vyas Maharishi and between him and his mind, because he is putting it down on paper. He is putting it down on paper. Maybe his students are sitting there because he wrote the Mahabharata. So there also the dialogue going, this conversation is going on. Where else it is going on?
in our intellect.
Here.
Between us, it is going on. Between us it is going on. So here it is going on between the teacher and the student, and it is also going on between the teacher and the textbook. There also it is going on. Or with us and our mind it is going on. So these are the different places. So here he says, this dialogue which has taken place between yourself and myself had descended on this earth to win liberation. If this dialogue is correctly interacted with, it will lead to liberation without any doubt. He who recites repeatedly this conversation between yourself and myself, which illumines the truth in its entirety without analyzing the words or the stanzas, kindles the sacrificial fire of knowledge. What is? Now I'll tell you. What is this sacrificial fire of knowledge? When you are merely chanting, you chant Om, you chant the mantra, you chant Bhagavad Gita. Here he says, without analyzing the words or the stanzas, then what is that ingredient which is required while chanting? Deep devotion, a deep gratefulness that by His grace the words of the Gita are coming in my mind, are coming out of my lips. Each word is a nectarine one. Each word of the Bhagavad Gita is taking you to the ultimate, because it is His word. Because without Him, we won't be reading these words. See? He who recites repeatedly this conversation between yourself and myself, which illumines the truth in its entirety. Initially we may not understand. Maybe you are only stuck on chapter 2. Karmanyevadhikaraste. But as you keep chanting, slowly, your interest will keep transcending. From chapter 1 to chapter, what is written in chapter 3? Let me see. Automatically it will happen. In its entirety, without analyzing the words or the stanzas, kindles the sacrificial of fire of knowledge. Another way of looking at it is sacrificial fire of knowledge, that you are naturally, without any efforts, while chanting, your attention goes and fixates on that infinite self, on that theme. There is no infinite self to focus on, but as we saw in Kathopanishad, either in your heart chakra or in your Vishuddhi chakra or in your Agya chakra, somewhere you get focused. Let the chanting, when we are chanting our morning classes, we chant, automatically the attention goes, I can feel the throb in the third eye. Did I create it? No. I didn't create it. But it happens. See? The same way, I didn't create the hunger, it happens. Under the right circumstances, it happens. So what is the circumstance, environment we have created? Chanting of Bhagavad Gita with deep devotion and reverence. And what will happen? The fire of knowledge, that what is this liberation it is talking about? It is the self. Okay, what is this self? Automatically the inward journey will begin. Yet another way of sacrificial fire of knowledge is the Kundalini. That's the fire which starts rising to be consumed into the infinite, because that is its source. Kindles the sacrificial fire of knowledge, and it is that fire which burns away all impurity. What is the impurity? The impurity of duality, the impurity of variety, the impurity of phenomena, of multiplicity. The impurity of taking that which does not exist as real is the impurity. Impurity is that which takes you away from yourself. What is that which takes you away from yourself? You decide what has taken you away. See? So it burns away all the loose ends, and none of those. We are not saying the world has to be denied. We are not saying the senses have to be denied. We are not saying the panchakoshas have to be denied. We are saying just what? Recognize what?
Who you are.
Correct. So we are not changing the world, we are not changing the mind, we are not changing anything. Thoughts will continue, the breath will continue, the sense will continue. Let them continue. The owner of all this has realized I am the infinite. I am the infinite one. This is when you think that you are the individual one, only this body, this is the impurity. This is the impurity. Relativity is impurity. Nothing wrong with relativity. What is included in relativity? Tell me.
Subject and object.
Good, subject, object, and the instrument. Yes. What else is there in relativity?
Time and space.
Huh?
Time and space.
Okay. Without time and space, subject, object, instrument. We are talking about relativity. Use it. Okay, that is also valid. What else? Relativity. Think of that relative which includes everything.
Space.
Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar. Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar is relative. Okay?
Yes.
This seeming division between the three, which an individual experiences, but from the divine point of view, everything he alone is. This transformation comes about in the seeker. See? What is Jeev Jagat? You understood? Individual is the Jeev, Jagat is the world, Ishwar is the Lord or the totality, the universal self. So we say, the individual says, oh, if I am this, who created this world? The God created the world. So Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar is the relative from our point of view. See? So this relativity we transcend. Relativity is only valid as long as you are an individual. Can you change God? No. Can you change the world? No. Can you change space, air, fire, water, earth out of which this world is made? No. So we cannot change God. We cannot change world. Who is left? So you work on yourself. You change yourself. And what is that changing yourself? Chant Bhagavad Gita like a mad fellow. It will happen. Lord is saying, Gyaneshwari Maharaj is saying, who has realized himself. He is saying, Lord himself is saying, and we doubt them. See? So dissolve, live a life in such a manner, day in and day out, 24/7, in such a manner that this individuality keeps dissolving. And the more it dissolves, directly proportional to that, the infinite will express itself in its place. Okay. And there is no journey from individuality to infinity. Like that. It's actually a click. No, Swami, don't play with us. How much time is there a journey required to shift from being a wife to being a woman? No journey. Instantaneous. थोड़ा कम कर दो, गर्म हो रहा है सबको. हाँ. Instantaneous. Same thing here also. From individuality to the infinity, it's instantaneous. Till it doesn't happen, keep reading. What is that? Kindles the sacrificial fire of knowledge, and by giving therein, O wise Arjuna, the oblation in the form of knowledge propitiates me, the Supreme Self. The oblation in the form of knowledge. So, what we are doing here? What are we doing? You as seekers, as students, what are you doing? What is the oblation? Your mind is consciousness. You are of the nature of consciousness. Consciousness with thoughts is mind. In that mind, what oblation is going on so that you become expanded? That consciousness expands. What is the oblation? Is it the oblation of thoughts of the world, or is it the oblation of thoughts of Bhagavad Gita? There you go. feel the gratitude that the Lord has presented you, has made it has brought you, has turned your mind to be interested in this Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads and so on. It's not a fluke. It's not by chance. It's not by chance. So here I am also pouring oblation. Oblation of what? Thoughts of knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. Where? Into the consciousness that this whole world is. Whether I take you as individuals, but where is my attention? Is it in your body? Is it on your body? Or is it on the life, the consciousness that is throbbing through each one of you? Or is my attention on this infinite world, which is not other than the Lord, which is not other than the infinite absolute consciousness? Because you cannot have a world separate to the infinite reality. So this world must be necessarily the infinite reality, but I don't have the eyes to see it. But I believe it, so I'm offering it to the world. That is my sacrifice. There is no mine, he only doing it, but this is the sacrifice. You, by being available, you are these are my oblations. This is the ahuti that I'm pouring into the fire of consciousness, that or expressions of that fire of consciousness that you are. In fact, there is no experience, everything is one. Similarly, you are pouring the oblations of the thoughts and understanding into the consciousness that you are as the words are coming to you. It's eternally this game is going on. Recognize, click, click, let it click. Don't overthink. And if we have to think today also, I was at Bhiksha in some Marwadi's house, and they were saying, no, she's not here. So they were saying, what? Swami, all nice food, so many dishes, bapre. I take only little, I have full. Oblation. Kheer, churma. Kabhi churma khaya? Arey, kya maja aa gaya. It's like Rajasthani dish, churma, and many other, puri, this, that. Swamiji, eat more. Arey, kitna khaye yaar? What is the statement? Swamiji, you are Brahman. Brahman is never satisfied. He is infinite. So you are also, eat more. No. So there the thought came. It says, boy, her nephew asked me, Swamiji, what is the difference between Chintan and Chinta? What is the difference between thinking and worrying? What is the difference? Between thinking and worrying?
What worrying is based upon a notion of some control.
Thinking about the result.
Colin said, worrying is about some control. You said?
Thinking about the result.
He said thinking about the result is leading to worrying. Okay, what else? Anyone else on the digital world?
Thinking is the initial one, worrying is the result of it.
Say that again.
It's a reaction. Worrying is the result of thinking.
What?
Anything. If you start thinking, you start worrying. If you don't think, you don't worry.
Okay, you need to be corrected. I will come back to you. Amma?
It's a reaction of, it's the same answer.
Worrying is a reaction.
Yes.
Or worrying is a reaction of thinking.
Yeah, results.
Guys, you have not.
Worrying is basically you are not believing in God.
Okay, good. Close. Better than the other two.
Worrying is always negative. Negative thinking is worrying.
Okay.
Worrying is more on worldly stuff.
It's out.
Jackpot. All thoughts thinking about the world is equal to worrying. All thoughts directed towards the divine is thinking, is chintan. Chinta is when the thoughts is about the multiplicity. That is the world. Get this, I have said it many times. This is not the first time I am telling. That's why sometimes I ask the questions. But this should be, on your fingertips, this data. So all thoughts which are extrovert, validating the multiplicity and variety leads to worrying. Thoughts directed towards the higher, towards the consciousness, towards God, it is called chintan or thinking or contemplating. So make this correction in your notebook of mind. Let it go and gardo, nail it. I will ask this question again. Still 4 verses left. At the end I will ask. But this I have repeated many times even in Kathopanishad, even in Ishavasya Upanishad. This should be clear, man. Chinta and chintan.
Would you have to say that it's a reaction as well, Swamiji? Because
You can say whatever you want.
if
Come to this.
Thoughts, Swamiji, internal aham.
Say that again.
Then you won't react.
Say that again.
If it was aham, if it was about the God's thought, godly thoughts,
Yes.
you won't react, wouldn't you?
Yes, exactly, correct.
So,
But the principle, I am asking the principle. Principle is you react because your thoughts are towards the variety.
well,
Thinking, your thoughts are about something which is other than you. An objective thought leads to worrying. A subjective thought leads to thinking, in brackets, contemplation, equal to abidance. It will die its own death. The thought will die its own death. But a thought which is objective in nature, it will keep bubbling up more thoughts, and that leads to worrying. See? If I look at Colin, I have gone out, many weeks now we have not gone out for lunch together. His house is there. Stanton also came. Balthazar also came. Oh, we went for a drive. Suddenly, one thought of Colin, objective thought, is leading to so many thoughts. One thought of sleep, does it lead to many thoughts? No. You become quiet in ignorance. But we don't want that thought either. We want the thought of consciousness, thought of the absolute, thought of the totality, whichever works for you. And let it consume you. See? In this manner, O wise Arjuna, the oblation in the form of knowledge propitiates me. Propitiates. You invoke the Lord by thinking about the Lord. You invoke the world if you think about the world. So choose wisely, choose correctly, choose carefully. Every moment we have a choice. What do we think about? Me, and the knowledge propitiates me, the Supreme Self. The Supreme Self gets propitiated, invoked. Whatever capacity the wise acquire through study and experience of the Gita is also attained by the devotees by singing and narrating the Gita. See? I know many, those who have attended the classes here, not here, but in different places, in Hobart, in here, they're in their own way, they are having their own satsangs going on. See? They go to work, one lady, and she used to go to work, and during lunchtime she'll quickly finish her food and she'll read the Bhagavad Gita, just chant. She'll take, because she asked me, what should I said, read Bhagavad Gita. And at work she's doing it. And people started taking the mickey out of her. They troubled her. What are you reading that? What is so interesting that you are avoiding us, that you're not talking to us, that you are eating food so quickly? What is this? And because she's involved in Bhagavad Gita, suddenly the Gita caught her. At home also, she had trouble. The husband was saying, she's not giving me interest. She's not interested in me anymore. And the tussle was going on, but she kept on. It went on for almost 7-8 months at work. After 7-8 months, when they had a good laugh at her expense, they troubled her. She did not react. She kept reading. One day I'll tell you, but right now I'm interested. I'm just not feeling like talking, this, that. And they kept teasing her. And then one day, someone came, oh, what are you? When she came, genuinely, so she came, can I share food? Okay, food. What are you reading? She read the verse. Wow, that is very interesting. And she said, oh, can I come and sit with you tomorrow also? And slowly, from 1 it became 2, 2 it became 3. Every afternoon, everyone ate food quickly. And then they waited when she is going to read 1 or 2 verses of Gita and read what is the meaning. And just like I am expanding it, she is expanding it for them. Satsang began. Same place she has worked 25 years. Never a satsang. Only talking about drinks, only talking about parties, only talking about food, only talking about children. Suddenly the whole environment changed. See? This happens. So each one becomes, in Hindi there is a song, Jyot se jyot jagate chalo, prem ki ganga bahate chalo. So each student, each seeker becomes a lamp who lights the lamp of knowledge in others by sharing the words of Bhagavad Gita. That's what Gyaneshwari Maharaj is doing. That's what we are doing. That's what you will be doing if you are going in some environments where people are there. The topic changes to this only. See? So, whatever capacity the wise acquire through study and experience of the Gita, whatever capacity, it does not matter that you have to go to an ashram. Does not matter. You listen sincerely to the satsang. Transformation has to happen, whether you like it or not. Why? Because we have put the divine virus into you by way of thought, by way of word. Now, what does virus do? It corrupts. This is divinely corrupting you. No choice. See? Through whatever capacity the wise acquire through study and experience of the Gita is also attained by the devotees by singing and narrating the Gita. So, attend satsang, chant the Bhagavad Gita every day, have a right attitude towards the Bhagavad Gita, respect, reverence. And all those points were taken before. Thus, one who recites the Gita secures the same fruit as is attained by one who knows the meaning. So, there is no, in the end, who wants to know the meaning? Who thinks that he is intellectual? Who thinks he is intelligent? Who thinks his intellect is bright? Who is the other one? A devotee. He says, who cares? If he wants the knowledge to be revealed, he will reveal it. No, for me, knowledge is not understanding. For me, knowledge means the Lord. For me, knowledge means the consciousness, isn't it? I don't want to be lost in the words of the manyness of the words. I want only the ultimate. So also, okay. Let it reveal which path is for you. You don't decide. Otherwise, you are on an ego trip. Let it reveal. And the truth is revealing at a relative level. The truth is revealing every moment. Truth is revealing with the thought also, without the thought also. Are we available? Whether you contemplate by the path of knowledge or you just chant the name of the Lord. The acme of knowledge is devotion, is surrender. And the acme of devotion is knowledge. Where is the difference? This difference seems to be only at the relative level. Where there is duality, there seems to be the difference. But once you transcend duality by the grace of the divine, then no differences. There is no difference. Be like the sun, ever bright. Then from the sun's point of view, there is no knowledge called the day and there is no ignorance called the night also. You have transcended. This is only word knowledge. Absolutely right. But that is the only tool we have to communicate. So while listening, while chanting, while contemplating through the thoughts, they are also words. If some words are going to be popping up in your mind, instead of them being of the quality of the world, thoughts of the world, let them be thoughts of Bhagavad Gita, let them be thoughts of Om, let them be thoughts of the Lord, let them be thoughts of the Guru Maharaj. That is healthy. And whatever has to happen will happen. Don't worry about what will happen. He is telling you already what he is going to give you. Our problem is we spend more time thinking why the experience is not coming. And while we are thinking about the experience, we are missing the present moment. It can only happen in the here and now. It cannot happen in the future. No, but why? They had the experience, why am I not having? We lost the moment. Instead, do what is required to be done. Thus, one who recites the Gita secures the same fruit as is attained by one who knows the meaning. For Mother Gita does not make any distinction between a knowing child and a babe. Knowing child, knowing an intelligent child. Who knows? In Bombay there is one person. The parents are very messy. The child is very organized. And he scolds the parents. Why did you leave the towel there? Why did you not dry the clothes in the proper way? Just put it on the line. Why didn't you fold it after they are dried? Why their clothes are lying? Why the bed sheet is not done after you get up from the bed? Why did you leave the chappals here and there? He is the grandmother of the house. छोटा सा बच्चा है, सबको लाइन पे लेता है. But he himself, he doesn't care for dad, mom, if they do it or not. He will take his clothes, 8-9-year-old, take his own clothes, fold it properly, put it in the cupboard, spick and span. Neat. Neat. Mother Gita does not make any distinction between a knowing child and a baby. Baby is dependent. He does not care. Total abandonment. What is abandonment? Abandonment is like a kitten. Doesn't care. Mom has to take care. Put it in a safe place. The moment it is lifted, what is knowledge? Knowledgeable child. It is like a child of a monkey. The mother doesn't hold. He has to clasp the mother and make sure that when mom is jumping, he doesn't fall off. Best. Not a monkey baby, not a cat baby. We want to be like kangaroo baby. Taken care of. So both the path of devotion, love, surrender, and the path of knowledge, both lead to the same. In some people, it happens that they go the devotional way. In some people, they go the knowledge way. In some people, it is 50-50. In some people, it is 10-90. In some people, it is 90-10 or 80-20. It's a different mixture. This mixture, this seeming difference is only as long as you are on the ground level. As your mind purifies, the distance between the two, the knowledge and the devotion, it starts evaporating. It starts evaporating until the consummation happens. And where once one is consumed by the consciousness, by the divine, then there is no more difference anymore after that. With this, we move on to the 71st verse. Shraddhavan anasuyascha Shrunuyadapi yo naraha Sopi mukta shubhan lokan Prapnuyat punya karmanam. Together, Shraddhavan anasuyascha Shrunuyadapi yo naraha Sopi mukta shubhan lokan Prapnuyat punya karmanam. He says, and the man who might merely hear this with faith and without cavilling. Cavilling is nitpicking, hair splitting, bad mouthing, looking down, thinking that he is more important than the scripture or what the scripture is teaching. He is great. He knows more than Krishna, Bhagwan. So here he says, and the man who might merely hear this with faith, merely, only, I told you in few verses before, only faith. How Chinmayananji describes faith? How does he describe faith? The ability to believe in something, or about something which you have never experienced, which you have got no data about. And you have one data, sleep. You don't know what sleep is. It's emptiness. Is emptiness a thing? But you surrender to it every day. Here we are talking about not emptiness, not ignorance, not nothingness, not absence. We are talking about that which is. Not that which is not. That which is. And that which is constantly, continuously, without any breaks in it. So here he says, with faith, believe in that which you do not know. Another way of putting it, having faith in that which you do not know, with the faith that one day you will come to know. Every arranged marriage is like that. And every child, every girl who gives birth or once a father and mother, husband, wife become father, mother, they don't know what they are going to get into. Faith that everything will be fine, isn't it? And they just take the plunge. See? Faith, that will make you cross the ocean of samsara. Believing in that which you do not know, with a belief that one day you will come to know that which you do not know. So right now I don't know infinite consciousness, only a concept, only a conviction. I see God, how man has designed him. I have my own concepts of God. So I don't know how he is actually, but I be after him. I think about him. I contemplate on him. I invoke him. I offer every thought of mine to him. Then he will reveal as he is. He will. And after that, I don't need a thought to know him. I don't need to have an experience to know him. Because he and me are not separate. That will be his knowledge that he will present to himself, not to you. Because you are not there anymore. It's play of words. But in relative, words are only there. What to do? So he says here, he too, and without cavilling, he too shall be freed from evil and attain the blessed worlds of righteous men. So such people, whether you look at it from a relative point, blessed worlds, or what are the blessed worlds? All the 7 lokas. Bhur bhuha swaha tapa maha janaha satyam. These are the 7 worlds. This is all where the righteous people live. Go below the 7, all unrighteous people there. Why? Objective oriented. These people, the first 3 objective oriented, rest of them subjective oriented. What are the first 3? Bhur bhuva swaha. Where are they? Muladhar, Swadhisthana, Manipur. Do not focus on them. Then the heart, the Vishuddhi and the Agya. Only focus on these 3. That is where the righteousness is. This is the first place where the self reveals. Maybe a glimpse. And infinite peace overcomes you. You are extremely content. Everything becomes crystal clear. Who you are and what this world. I am not the world. Okay, what's next? Then who is this who knows that I am that? I am that. If I am not the body, then who am I? Then you come to this. As you remain focused on that, who am I? You come to this point. And from here then expansion begins. That everything is this I alone. You are the source. Gyaneshwari Maharaj says, Ani sarva margi ninda. Margi. Margi. Ani sarva margi ninda. Sanduni asthapai shuddha. Gita shravani shraddha. Obhari zo. Tayacha shravana puti. Gitechi akshare zav paiti. Hoti na tava utha uthi. Padeci papa. He says, no sooner a person full of faith in the recital of the Gita hears it with piety and without cavilling, then the sins flee away from him. I have already explained this in detail. So, without looking down upon the Bhagavad Gita, without looking down upon Krishna and Arjuna, without looking down upon the words words are also divine. They are His words. Some people say, words, it's too much. Yes, it is too much, but they are His words. I prefer to be cluttered with these words rather than the words of the world. Till they naturally lead me to silence. Till they naturally lead to silence, not by force. I don't want someone to touch my head, and then I have met such people also. I have given you examples. Gone into Nirvikalpa Samadhi for 6 years. I don't want that. No. If words I have got no choice. The moment I wake up, thoughts erupt in my mind. I have a choice. What type of thoughts I choose to think. Do I want to think of objective thoughts, or I want to think of objective thoughts which lead to the subject? Difference. They are also objective, but they lead to the subject. They lead to the conclusionless conclusion. The thoughts of the world, the thoughts of objects of the world, they lead to a conclusion. Usha is a word, it leads to a conclusion. Table is a word, it leads to a conclusion. Camera is a thought, becoming a word, it leads to a conclusion. Self is a word, scriptures are told, doesn't lead to any experience. Doesn't lead to any, it's a conclusionless conclusion. So if we have to think, let us think in this manner. Let us be focused with such thoughts, such words, rather than say that these words are too much. These words are, I prefer silence. Who prefers silence? The nihilist prefer silence. Better than having no thoughts, remain equanimous. That is better. Then Raman Maharshi is Raman Maharshi. If you don't understand, then don't talk about it. His silence is not quiet. His silence is undisturbed by sound or no sound. That is his silence. Sun's silence is not he's run away. No, he is not disturbed by day and night. That is his silence. That is his light. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So rather than seek silence, I don't want words, I want silence. Then you will do what? Then make a khichdi of all your memories. Then make a khichdi of all your what I have to do next. Silence must happen as a result of correct interaction with the words, not as a reaction to the words. You understand? Very important. Otherwise, we'll go into the wrong conclusion. We don't want to get to a conclusion. We want to be the conclusionless conclusion. And that is where the Upanishads are taking us. That is where the Bhagavad Gita is taking us. That is where all the masters are also trying to help you to get there. The realized masters. But no master can take you there. No master can take you there. If you want to get the bitter truth, no God can take you there also. Because God himself is a product of relativity. Ayyo! Remember, what is relativity? Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar. If the Jiva is not there, the other two have got no meaning. If individual is not there, there is no purpose for the world and there is no purpose for Ishvara. Because this fellow, who had carved out an identity for himself, he has realized that he is the infinite. Then he says, what? Brahma, Vishnu? They come and go like that in front of me. I am the master of the creation. I am not a subject of this creation. I am the master. That creation includes all the other individuals, all the gods, the whole entire objective world. Not only this one, infinite. Every universe has its own Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. This was the experience which was given to Brahmaji by Krishna, who was only 6-7 years old. When Brahmaji had a doubt, is this the Ishvara? Is this fellow who's sitting on the branch of the tree and playing flute? He is my boss. He gave him the lesson. See? So we have to go, and that infinite, the absolute reality, that itself is appearing as everything. From its point of view, there is nothing happening. From your point of view, it is better for you to think in this way, that it alone is everything. The Jeev also, the Jagat also, the Ishvara also, and everything in between them also. It alone is. What is in between them? Space and time. And the 5 elements. It alone is. So it is playing with itself. Playing it, that is called the phenomena. If you can digest it, it's good. If not, other texts are coming again. Somewhere it will click. We'll keep banging away. Continuing. Ataviye माझी जैसा वन ही रिघता सहसा लंघिती का दिशा वनौकेत ये का उदया चळकुळी झळकता अंशुमाळी तिमिरे अंतराळी हारपती तैसा कानाच्या महाद्वारी गीता गजरजेथ करी तेत सृष्टीची आदिवरी जायची पाप ऐसी जन्मवेली धुवट होय पुण्य रूप चोखट याही वरी अचाट लाहे फळ जे इये गीतेची अक्षरे जे तुलिका कर्णद्वारे रिघती ते तुले होती पुरे अश्वमेध की. He says, when the forest is burning in a conflagration, the animals and birds therein run helter-skelter. Meaning, when your attention is on the divine and the fire of contemplation is blazing away, you are not distracted by anything, you are continuously thinking. All the animals are running away from the fire. Meaning, all the unwanted thoughts, all the objective thoughts are, the moment they come even in the proximity, they get burned away. And others, the heat is so much that they don't even come near. Okay, we'll go somewhere else. They go away. That is what is told. Then, or with the rise of the sun on the horizon, the darkness in the sky is dispelled. The moment this light of fire reveals itself, that very moment, all the cobwebs of the mind, ignorance, darkness is equal to doubts. Everything leaves your mind. Very quickly it goes away. Very quickly it goes away. Another example that comes, if you are feeling cold, you come inside here, the heater is on, within a few seconds, you want to take the jacket out and keep it. Well, it's warm enough, isn't it? What did you do? Nothing. You just came in the presence of the heat. You came in the presence of the fire and the cold went away. Did you remove the cold? No. Did you remove the thought of the world, of the mind, of the body and all everything associated with it when you are going to sleep? No, it went away by itself. Same way, That going away which happens while going to sleep, same going away of all objectivity happens when this fire of knowledge is invoked. By studying Bhagavad Gita or listening to it or chanting it. Don't create unwanted doubts in your mind. Now what happens? Nothing happens. You just keep chanting. Do what is required with the right attitude. That's all. That's all. Unwanted questions. What is Karma Yoga? Who cares? Do chant. It will reveal to you. We don't want to reveal. We want, instant gratification. We don't want to do the hard work. We don't want to interact with what is right. We want handouts. Centrelink. We don't want to work hard. We want handouts. Handout is not wrong. We also get handout. Today I went for a handout. Food. Bhiksha I went. But that is the right. Why? Our life is dedicated to that truth. So do we demand? No, we don't demand. But we have the right, 3 places we can ask. And if someone calls, we happily oblige. But we don't impose. We don't expect. We don't say, I want only this, I don't want that. Why don't you give me that? Why don't you give me this? No. If $1 comes less in the Centrelink payment, then how will you feel? They cheated me. Why did they take $1 away from me? With the rise of the sun on the horizon, the darkness in the sky is dispelled. In the same way, when the recital of the Gita enters the ears of a person, all his sins accumulated since the beginning of the world get destroyed. This you have to while you are practicing, you have to experience it yourself. Yes, once we say that we will not come to know. But that is the ultimate. But you start chanting the Gita, when you start chanting Om, when you start chanting your mantra, when you start getting involved in a satsang in this manner. Now tell me, for last 1 hour, 15 minutes, how many thoughts of the world entered your mind? Minuscule. All these words are thoughts of the world only. Correct? But where are these thoughts taking you? What are they invoking within you? Are they taking you back into the world, or are they taking your attention to something higher? Can we, for 1 hour continuously, without any disturbance, without any doubt, without any naturally, you're not practicing focus right now. You're just sitting there. Can we do that by ourselves? If you can do it, fantastic. Fantastic. Then let it not be 1 hour, then let it go on for 2 hours. Let its duration increase. But till that happens, come, listen, expose yourself, expose your mind. Mind loves variety. So sometimes satsang, sometimes japa, sometimes sitting in silence, sometimes going for a walk and chanting the mantra with every step, sometimes being very alert to everything that every moment is expressing in your, you're just aware of whatever is happening. Sometimes just being focused on the self. There are different ways. Sometimes just focusing on the breath. It's not that one thing is, we are not, one for all. No, not one for all. Ultimately one for all. But as long as we still feel we are the body, then it's not one for all. Sometimes naturally the attention goes to the body, do exercise, do gardening. Sometimes the attention goes to the breath, do just watch the breath. Sometimes it goes to the mind, do the japa. Be alert. So let nature decide and you be alert. That you don't become extroverted, you become subject oriented. Immediately, every stimuli must lead to the subject. If that is happening, fantastic. If that stimuli is taking you back into the world to more stimuli, problem. Something needs to be corrected. Then what do? Come to the satsang. Or listen to some satsang. So many places are there. So understand the big picture, how you need to conduct in life. So here Bhagavan is telling that in the same way, when the recital of the Gita enters the ear of a person, all his sins accumulated since the beginning of the world get destroyed. For whom will they get destroyed? Who does not doubt Bhagavad Gita. Whom do they get destroyed? Who does not doubt the Lord. For whom do they get destroyed? Who does not doubt the teacher. For whom do they get destroyed? Who has got no doubt that he is, in essence, the infinite one. And if he has not, even though he has not experienced it, but has got no doubt, then when this happens with the last breath, it's also okay. See? But that disposition is very important. And this disposition will not come by copying someone else. This is your disposition towards your faith, as it was told before. Your faith towards the Gita, your faith towards the Lord. Your faith is in 4 places. The Lord, the scriptures, the Guru, and your own ability. A positive direction to your own ability. That yes, I can. Not every time. No, I can't sit. Oh, I can't do yoga. Oh, I can't. Who was asking? Did we ever say do yoga or pranayam? No. I can't understand. We are saying don't understand. Chant. He's giving you option. We are roaring away that knowledge and devotion both lead to the same. Except whichever is revealing through you at this moment. You cannot be listening to the scriptures day in and day out. You will go mad. You'll get tired. Mind loves variety. So have an integrated approach. You eat also, you defecate also, you work also, you do gardening also, you take shower also. So many things you do. So similarly, we are not saying that you only study Bhagavad Gita. Let it be a multi-pronged approach, but all leading to a conclusionless conclusion. Any side of the mountain you start climbing, you will reach the same peak. Is that our attitude in life towards everything? That's important. Then what I see is leading me back to the self. What I hear is taking me back to the self. Every stimuli is taking me back to the self. Every thought is taking me back to the self. This disposition, this is called samatvam yoga uchyate. And you practice, be alert about it a few days, it becomes your norm. And you live in that manner. And one day automatically the pull comes. The absorption happens. That's not for you to decide. Our job is not to keep thinking, when will that absorption happen? When will it happen? Why hasn't it happened now? Once it's okay, but continuously crying. If you're crying, then you're not doing what is required to be done. What? Remain positive. Be blissful. Chant Bhagavad Gita. What are you chanting? Why it has not happened now? It will not happen. You're sending contrary message to the mind. See? world gets destroyed. In this way, his family tree becomes purified and holy, and it bears beautiful fruits. One acquires the merit of as many house sacrifices as the letters of the Gita, which enter the heart through the ears. What? Every word is an offering, is an oblation into the Havan Kund, into the sacrificial pit. Which is the sacrificial pit? Of the mind. In the sacrificial pit of the mind, the oblation of the words are taking place by way of thoughts. You are hearing, and the thoughts are being offered, and the fire is growing. It's glowing, growing and growing. If you look here and then, suddenly smoke will come. You have to, if you don't put oil, only keep putting the dry, smoke will come. It has to be a good balance of the wood, of the oil, of the correct oblations. What is correct oblation? The attitude that every stimuli is an offering into the sacrificial pit of the mind, and the fire of contemplation, or the light of consciousness, or the fire of consciousness is glowing brighter and brighter and brighter. And in that brightness, in that heat, in that glow, all darkness goes away, all sins burn away, all objectivity burns away. Then all that remains after that is that absolute. Because once everything, how long will the fire burn? How long will the fire burn? As long as you put oblations. When oblations are finished, what will happen? When oblations are finished, then what will happen?
There is no individuality left.
There's no duality left thereafter. Then there's no need for fire, because you invoke the fire only for the purpose of you. Can you do sadhana in the night when you're sleeping? No. So why you wake up and be available to the light, so that you can do your practices, you can live your life. So similarly, why did we invoke the fire? To burn away everything. But once everything has been devoured by the fire also goes away, nothing is there left for it to burn, and then only the consciousness that is infinite remains. The example has it's not complete. The example is not complete, but I hope you understand what is pointing at. See? Because when we say fire of consciousness, light of consciousness, you start thinking, like the bulb light, that the fire of the fire, light of the fire. It is not. The consciousness is infinite. We are just comparing it to the sun, we are comparing it to the fire, we are comparing it to the heat of contemplation. But it is all this and yet beyond. It is all this and yet beyond. One acquires the merit of as many house sacrifices as the letters of the Gita, which enter the heart through the ears. There are 700 verses. Each verse has so many. First part of the shloka, 8 words. Shraddhavan anasuyascha, 8 words. Whatever is out of 16. 16 to the 32. If you take just that much, 32 times 700. That many sacrifices in households going on. Which sacrifice? The fire sacrifice, the duties, each one living their duty. If they are doing it diligently, without complaint, with love, with faith, all those put together, much more, just by reading Bhagavad Gita, just by listening to Bhagavad Gita. Continuing. म्हणवनी श्रवणे पापे जाती आणि धर्मधरी उन्नती तेणे स्वर्गराज संपत्ती लाहेची शेखी तो पै मज यावया लागी पहिले पेणे करी स्वर्गी मग आवडे तव भोगी पाठी मजची मिळे ऐसी गीता धनंजया ऐकतया आणि पढतया फळे महानंदे मिया बहुकाय बोलो या कारणे हे असो परिजया लागी शास्त्रातिसो केला ते तव तुझ पुसो काज तुझे. He says, so one who hears the Gita gets rid of his sins, increases his merit, and ultimately attains the kingdom of God. All options are covered. The first option was the one who hears the Gita gets rid of the sins. The way I explained before, all the regrets and all the expectations are another way of sins. All desires are burnt away. Second, increases his merit till you have not realized. As the sins burn, your merit is increasing. Your balance sheet is in the positive. Why? Because we have been focused, we are expanding, we are not having doubts, we are not in the clutches of ignorance, we have understood phenomena to be the phenomena, and yet we are using the phenomena to transcend the phenomena. Merit has to be there. See? And the third one, where are we? And ultimately attains the kingdom of God. So when purity, removal of sin, increase of merit is equal to purity. That purity is called sattva. God is pure sattva, without any objectivity in it. If there is a little bit of objectivity, then he is he shunts through sattva, rajas, tamas. But who is Ishvara? He is pure sattva. He is beyond the sattva, rajas, tamas. And that's the third one. Ultimately attains the kingdom of God. Whether you take God as the Ishvara or you take it as the infinite consciousness, one and the same. And then in this journey towards me, he makes his first halt in the heaven, and after enjoying the celestial pleasures to his heart's content, he ultimately joins me. Heaven, as you start beginning this, once you begin this journey and all the sins are burned away, merits come. With that merits come everything that you need in this life is provided to you. And by mistake or by default or by some old desires were there, they are not completely burnt, and in that remembrance of the divine, suddenly the attention goes, it will be nice to have a mansion to live, which is paid for and taken care of. Suddenly donation comes and ashram is created and you are living and enjoying. Or a king invites you and you stay in a palace for... But don't get carried away by all this. This is heaven. Heaven means what? Where you don't feel hunger and thirst, where you don't feel heat and cold, where all your desires are satisfied in one go. All this happens because you have collected enough merit in life. And that merit you collect by living a righteous life. Living a righteous life means what? Continuously living for the divine is righteous life. See? So this is one. So when I am not, this is the first three chakras. Heaven is the first three chakras. Going through the Mooladhara, Swadhisthana and Manipur, you come to the heaven. That is the place of Indra. Everything is at your fingertips. You put your attention, it's yours. But Are you going to remain there and collect all the siddhis and use it to become wealthy? Or are you going to keep, acha, let me try out. Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I get this? Can I get, and it will come. Like a person, it comes in somewhere, it comes. Already, one person was there, he was under a tree. That tree was, by chance, it was Kalpavriksha. Kalpavriksha is wish fulfilling tree. And he says, oh my God, I'm so tired, I'm so thirsty. Suddenly the water came. Oh, I'm actually hungry also. I have not eaten for such a long time. Food came. After having a sumptuous meal, he didn't think from where it is coming, but it came. It wandered there. But after nice food, after such a wonderful meal, it was such, you have to rest after. Immediately the bed appeared. Comfort came. Wow! When he got up after the rest, then he thought, man, I thought about water, water came. Thought about food, food came. Thought about bed, bed came. I was feeling cold, I thought about duna, duna came. Everything came. I hope I don't get killed by a tiger. Tiger came. Wish fulfilling tree. This is our mind. This is our mind. This is the heaven. Whatever you wish, that comes true. So at that time, don't wish for objectivity. If you are not disturbed by heat and cold, majority people are only paying bills for gas and electricity. Food. Then second bill is only for hunger and thirst. They spend money for soft drinks and liquid spirituality and food. See? And the third one is praise and insult. No praise and insult. But that part in heaven is not there. Indra also gets insulted, Indra also gets praised. But main these two things. And there is the third is old age and death is not there. Disease and decay is not there. That's the one. Disease and decay is not there. You will ever be youthful in heaven. So you use the heaven for your benefit. No distractions, contemplate on the higher. Arjuna went to heaven, he was not distracted even by Urvashi, even by the angel, and became the greatest warrior, got all the weapons and came back. Anyway, we'll talk about it more next week. And he makes his first halt in the heaven, and after enjoying the celestial pleasures to his heart's content, he ultimately joins me in this way, O Dhananjaya. I give to the reciter and also the hearer of the Gita the fruit in the form of bliss. I wish to ask you about your problem, for the solution of which I had to narrate this Gita to you. So all this is beautiful, but the most important person is the one who is in front of you. We are not here to do social service. So we'll talk about it next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.